So good afternoon and welcome to today's Uplift. I'm Reverend Jeanne. I'm a staff minister at Vision, and it's my delight to bring you today's Uplift and to connect with you just heart to heart through technology. But let's begin in prayer, shall we? So I know that there is only one life, one love, one law. It is the life, the love, the law of spirit, operating always, moving into a greater expression of itself, into a greater expression of its peace, of its harmony, of its love, love, and more love. And so my heart fills with gratitude for this time to come together, to connect, to be the essence of the divine right here and now. And so I know that it is all good, for it is all God, and I allow it to be. And so it is. So my wedding anniversary is coming up. Michael and I will be married for 22 years on Sunday. Yay. But that, of course, has me thinking about love and relationship. So that's what today's Uplift is going to be about. Of course, this is also the season of love as we count down to Christmas, and no matter what that's going to look like in this time of social distancing. But I found what I'm doing is writing and mailing Christmas cards more this year, going through the snail mail instead of the email and texting that I had in the past, just because connection and relationship just seems that much more important, that much more precious this year. Maybe it's just me. Maybe you do too. I'm reminded of the quote by Joel Goldsmith. He says, "The only reason there is for living is love. There is no other reason for staying on earth." Right? How true. Love is the quality of God. And, basically it's the heart of all the qualities of God that we talk about, because it's the foundation of life. And before we can give it to others, we need to give it to ourselves and recognize it and develop it within ourselves. That's our work, really. I think about the song, I don't know if you remember it, "Love the One You're With." There's a lot of truth to that. Especially when you realize that the one that you're with most is yourself and with God. So that's where we need to start, finding ourselves in God. That's how Ernest Holmes puts it. He says, "The person who finds himself in God will discover God in others. The person who wants to be the most himself will be the one who has discovered more of himself in that which is greater than he is." Right? Finding ourselves in God. That's the way we discover God in others. And this time of year, this winter season, is the perfect time, I think, to do that, to deepen our connection with God, to find ourselves in God. The longer, the colder nights, they naturally call us to go within, to be still, and to know that inner light even more deeply. Meditation and prayer are the best ways I know to grow the love inside of us, because they open us up to the divine love that lives and breathes in and as us, that's always seeking a greater expression through us. Ernest Holmes again. "For love is the givingness of the self, the imparting of the self to people the projection of the self into the activities of life. Love is the one supreme emotion in your life. Without love, everything is drab and without meaning. Drab and without meaning, and that's just so true. And you know what? I think there's nothing as supreme as new love. Michael and I laugh when we remember back to our courting days, right? When we first met. And we attended concerts and plays and baseball games and county fairs. And we ended up missing most of the action because we were so busy talking that whatever was going on around us was invisible almost, because we had so much to share about who we were and how we got to be who we are, right? I mean, think back on your first love. Remember the feelings of being absolutely just delightfully surprised and fascinated by another person, impatient to see them again, feeling the stars were all aligned to bring you together. Oh, yeah, nothing better than that. Well, guess what? That's how spirit feels about us. Always has, always will. Spirit, God, has been courting us all our lives. Thomas Chandler wrote, "To love a person is to learn the song that lives in their heart and to sing it to them when they have forgotten it." Yeah. You know what? That's the kind of love Spirit has for us. It knows the song that lives in our heart. I mean, it put it there. And it's constantly singing it to us, especially when we forget. I think of it as leading us in this delightful two-step dance, back and forth, give and take, forgetting and remembering. And like any dance, it has to be learned through trial and error and practice and practice and practice. But thankfully, we have the best and most forgiving dance partner that you could ever have. That would be God. Right? You know, I love the creation stories of the different wisdom traditions. You know, they each have just great images and ideas of how God lives and dances in us and in the world. One of my favorite is about the Hindu god of creation, Brahma. And the story begins when nothing existed except for Brahma. And he was completely bored. So he created a beautiful goddess, and he named her Maya. And she would be his playmate. And so she suggested coming up with this intricate game that involved creating the entire universe, the sun, the moon, the earth, the animals, the humans. And Brahma thought, what a great idea. And so he created it just as Maya had directed. And then Maya announced, okay, time to start the game. And she cut Brahma into millions of tiny little pieces and put a piece in each human being. Then she said to Brahma, so here's the game. I'm going to make you forget who and what you are. And you're going to go and try to find yourself. Like a cosmic game of hide and seek. Brahma searching, trying to remember who and what he is. And he's there inside of us, although Maya is stopping us from remembering that he is there and that he is who we are. Those tricky gods. But this is what I know. No matter how often we forget the truth of our divinity, there is a part of us that remembers. Our soul has never forgotten. And it's always calling us to a greater connection with spirit, a greater expression of divine love. You know, we have an innate desire that drives us throughout our lives, an invisible force that's always guiding us, kind of an internal GPS, God positioning system. And it's the force of love. It's always pushing and pressing in to enlarge us, to be more, to allow more, to live more, and to remember who we are. Here's how Ernest Holmes puts it. We know by intuition that there is something beyond what we have so far consciously experienced in this world. Nothing can dislodge this inner and intuitive perception from our mentality. This is God in us, knowing himself. Or Brahma, remembering, a break in the cosmic hide and seek game. God in us, knowing himself, a crack in the illusion that we live. And just how lucky we are to be here, sharing this experience, this human body of ours. We are truly so blessed. And aren't we lucky to be in constant courtship with spirit? Love rules, right? Right. So I just invite you to close your eyes and let's take a moment to take these words and ideas and images. Just let them settle into your heart. Just expanding and growing within you. Just feeling the universal energy flowing. The universal intelligence thinking through you. The divine love loving through you. Knowing this partnership is the very essence of life itself. It, in all of its individualized, unique, and beautiful forms, experiences, expressions. This precious life is God's life, always seeking a greater expression of itself. It's peace and power, wisdom, wholeness, balance and beauty, love and light. I know that the divine spark at the center of our being guides, guards, directs us as we move through our day, providing all that's needed to fully live the life that we are each being called to. How lucky we are. So, so blessed. With hearts overflowing with gratitude, the knowing of this life, this gift of life itself, I joyfully release these words into the law, allowing them to be, and so it is. So I just invite you this week to open your heart ever wider to the magic and the miracle of love, the love that surrounds us inside and out. Share it through a loving thought, a smile, a kind word, a gift, a Christmas card in this season. Love yourself, love God, love the one you're with. Right? And thank you for joining me today. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow for another uplift. Have a great rest of your day. Namaste.